What's good, everybody? What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. I am your host, Leon Jones. It is Saturday, September 3rd, 2016. You can catch me on Blog Talk Radio every Saturday from 12 to 2 Eastern Time. That's Blog Talk Radio /411 Talk Zone Radio. Call in numbers 215-383-5785. Please like, share, and subscribe to the 411 Talk Zone Radio channel on YouTube so I can continue to bring you the best content on YouTube for educational purpose. Also, if you have a business or you have a topic that you would like me to discuss on my Blog Talk Radio show or on YouTube, please email me at lej6521@gmail.com. Like videos, give me a thumbs up. If you don't, give me a thumbs down. However, if you have a comment, leave it in the comment section. Keep it pithy, no bloviating, no emotional outrage or outbreaks. Keep it professional. We're grown folk. Learn how to disagree. I'm here to educate you, not to bash you. There's no drama here. We keep it 100% educational on this channel. No bloviating. If you don't know what bloviating means, I will tell you. Don't spin. Keep it in the perspective of the topic. That's what bloviating means. Don't spin. No deflecting. That's what it means. Now, on to the topic. We are going to talk about college accrediting agencies. The name of this topic is college accrediting agencies. Now, why are they important? Okay, do you know that they had this scam? We called it the diploma mill scam, where you had individuals buying college degrees. And Alameda University was one of those schools. And you had other schools that had names close to the original college, but it was slightly different. But these diploma mills weren't accredited. Now, what do I mean by accreditation? Accreditation is just an evaluation system by an accrediting agency to make sure that each college and university, whether private, profit, or state, is following guidelines to give students higher learning. In other words, to give them an education that they can use, and it's standards, following the standards, what courses that you need to offer. Now, there's also programmatic. We're going to get into that tomorrow's video. But today we're going to stick with the accreditation. Again, accreditation is just an evaluation system to private, state, and schools for profit on the educational content and curriculums. That's all it is. Higher education, because a lot of these schools get money from the government to give students financial aid. Now, there are two types of accreditation. There's your national accreditation and there's your regional accreditation. I'm going to give you a differentiation between both, give you the pros and cons of both. Okay, now, what is national accreditation? National accreditation agencies basically evaluate career, vocational, and trade schools. We're talking about Penn Foster College of Technology, which is Arizona and Pennsylvania. Those are your online schools. And that's also across the United States as well. Well, as a result, these schools tend to be less expensive, they require less coursework, and feature a more practical, career-oriented curriculum and You can check all of those schools out that are under national accreditation. Now, all these schools under national accreditation are sponsored by, I call it CHIA. CHIA stands for Council for Higher Education Accreditation in the U.S. Department of Education. This information was founded on the CHIA and the U.S. Department of Education website, as well as Wikipedia. Now, what is regional accreditation? Well, again, regional accreditation is the educational accreditation of schools, colleges, universities in the United States by one of 6 regional accrediting agencies. Accreditation, technically a voluntary process and a means by which colleges demonstrate to each other and sometimes to employers and licensing agencies that their credits and degrees meet minimum standards. It is a self-regulation process of the higher education industry. Now, while we're on a regional accreditation, what are the 6 regional accrediting agencies? I'm going to tell you. You have the Middle States Association of Schools and Colleges. That's right, the Middle States Association of Colleges and Schools. That's right. And they take all of the Middle Atlantic schools, such as Maryland, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and even the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico. Some of the states. Now you have the New England Association of Schools and Colleges. Okay, they are doing the New England region. That's your Connecticut, Maine, your New Hampshires. Then you have the largest one is the HLC, the Higher Learning Commission, the North Central Association of Colleges and Schools. The state I live in, Indiana, Illinois, Kansas, Michigan, to name a few. Then you have the Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities. That's where you have Alaska, Montana. These are all regions of the United States. Then you have the Accreditation Commission for Senior Colleges and Universities, or the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. It's generally your Californias and Hawaiis. And then you have the Western Association of Schools and Colleges. They're basically your 2-year institutions in California and Hawaii. Now, being that we have accrediting agencies for both, I've just given you all the regional. Now I'm going to give you the national. Now basically, these are all career schools. Basically, they're online. Okay? The first one is Accrediting Commission for Career Schools and Colleges. Okay? That's basically a accreditation or accreditor of private vocational and technical schools. It's recognized by the U.S. Department of Education. Then you have your ASCET, which is Accrediting Council for Continuing Education and Training. They evaluate all non-collegiate institutions that provide educational resources and training within U.S. corporations and companies. Then you have the Accreditation Council for Independent Colleges and Schools. They're basically reviewing all of your independent schools and colleges that emphasize professional training. It could be anywhere from bookkeeping, going back to high school. It could be also home economics course, home inspector course, something like that. Then you have your Association of Advanced Rabbinical Schools, or Rabbinical and Talmudic schools. Okay, that's independently run organization made up of rabbis for advancing the avocation of traditional thought in the modern world. And he deal with education, finance, and graduation requirements for, looks like some Jewish art types of programs. You mentioned rabbi, it's always Jewish, but they're also recognized. The arts is recognized by the U.S. Department of Education and Council on Higher Education Accreditation. And then you have your code, your Council on Occupational Education, and that represents regional institutions like your Job Corps, your Department of Defense, your Army and Navy. Also, you have your Distance Educational Training Commission. They're really a good viable to your traditional learning schools because they're definitely expensive. These are all distance education schools that are online. In fact, schools that are represented by the DETC, based on what the transfer credits are, you can transfer them to your regional accredited institutions. This is basically the only one, though. Then you have your National Accrediting Commission of Career Arts and Sciences, which deals with your cosmetology schools. Then you have your Transnational Association of Christian Colleges and Schools, and they're a nonprofit organization, and they maintain relations worldwide and the International Network for Quality Assurance. Now, why is all this really important? I mean, we hear about accreditation, but do we know about accreditation? Well, the reason why it's important, because all colleges, whether they are nationally accredited or regionally accredited, have a set of guidelines that they must adhere to. Let me give you an example, and I'm going to go to Indiana University or Purdue University. Well, each year or two, you have somebody from the Higher Learning Commission that comes in and reviews all the curriculums. This is why curriculums are constantly changing, because some of these accrediting agencies, they create a curriculum and they monitor the progress within the schools. They want all the schools to be on the same page. That's why if you go to college, you'll have some differences in the numbering system or course numbering system, but basically the names are the same, because just like the State Department of Transportation's, okay, they come under the guise of the Federal Highway Administration. So all these accrediting agencies, regional and national, come under the guise of the U.S. Department of Education, because they are sending monies to these institutions so they can give the financial aid to students who can't make tuition payments. That's why when you receive financial aid, you must maintain in the undergraduate a C. Graduate level, you must have a B. If you don't, you could be on academic warning. And then if you continue to not progress, you won't be able to receive financial aid. Now, let's go to the comparison, okay? Because there's pros and cons to both. Regionally accredited versus nationally accredited. Now, basically, nationally accredited schools are online, but the pros and cons of a regionally accredited college, whether it's online or brick and mortar. If something's regionally accredited, here are the pros. It is the gold standard of college accreditation, has the highest prestige. It's the most widely recognized type of college education. Credits and degrees are widely accepted and transfer, that's correct. Eligible for all corporate tuition reimbursement plans. Usually provide instructor-led courses. Those are pros. Now the cons. often more expensive than nationally accredited colleges. They often require more liberal arts coursework. May offer less career-oriented programs and often enforce more competitive admission standards. That's true, like your Harvards, your Yales, your Michigans. Now, when we say national accreditation, now your three most popular are your Distance Education and Training Council, known as DETC, your ACICS, that's your Accrediting Council for Independent Colleges and Schools, and your ACCSC, that's your Accrediting Commission of Career Schools and Colleges. I just mentioned the names of these three accrediting agencies along with what they do. Now, here are the pros and cons of colleges that are nationally accredited. Okay, your pros. You often pay less. In other words, often less expensive than regionally accredited counterparts. Okay, they're cheaper to go to than your traditional brick and mortar and your online. May require less liberal arts coursework. True, because they focus on vocations and careers. May offer more practical, career-oriented majors. May employ more relaxed admission standards. That's true. The reason why is because you don't require as much coursework. In fact, you get a certificate and or an associate of applied science in a career field like construction management or bookkeeping. Here are the cons. Credits may not widely accept or be accepted and transfer if you intend to study at a regionally accredited college. In other words, might not be able to transfer the credits, but it's based on the college. Because Excelsior University does take nationally accredited courses. Same with Thomas Edison and Charter Oaks. Okay, coursework and degrees may not be widely accepted for professions that require licensing after degree attainment, which might also affect those in licensing careers such as teaching, accounting, engineering, and healthcare. Okay, let me stop right there. These are vocational degrees. In order to become a teacher, accountant, engineer, or medical, you have to go to a brick and mortar school. Because accounting and engineering, particularly in healthcare, they require you to have at most, a minimum of a bachelor's degree. These aren't bachelor's degrees. These are associate's degrees or certificates. That's why the standards are rigorous. You eliminate all the fluff that we have to take at the freshman and sophomore years in an undergraduate program. Okay? Sometimes provide self-study courses without instructor-led course sessions. That's true. Penn Foster is an example. Now, there's one school that is not accredited, so beware of it. It's called Columbia Southern University in Alabama. Now, they are hooked up with a school, is it in Iowa? I think it's called Waldorf College. That is accredited. But if a school is not accredited nationally or regionally, that's not a good fit, and your degree is going to be a phony degree. It will not be accepted. This is why Alameda University went out of business, because they were a diploma mill. They weren't accredited. You can't make up accreditation. Now, accreditation is voluntary. So there's one, I believe it is AIU. I think that's what it is. They're not accredited at all. But they still have the same type of coursework. I believe it's in Hawaii. That's one branch. So you have to look at the coursework. But when you get a degree, you have to make sure that your degree is going to be widely accepted. Accreditation is important. Now, the difference really between national and regional accreditation is basically the course structure, the types of programs, and transferring from one institution to another. Because in the military, there are a lot of courses that are sponsored by the ACE Guide for Credit. There's CLEP. And their courses, those courses are also sponsored by U.S. Department of Education. Colleges will take CLEP. This is what you have to do when you test out. CLEP tests are also good. We'll get into that in the future. But making sure that you come from a school with national or regional accreditation is pertinent. You don't want to go out in the workforce and find out that you spent a lot of money on a degree that is not real. It has happened. Alameda University had an officer down in Miami, Florida, that did that. Lost his job. And you have to watch some of these online programs. Now, somebody asked me a question about University of Phoenix. That is accredited. Now, University of Phoenix, Strayer University, which is primarily on the East Coast, which is headquartered in Maryland, and you have DeVry University, which is headquartered in Illinois. In fact, I took a few classes at DeVry University. They are also accredited. That's right. The problem I have basically with the University of Phoenix and DeVry, you have short class sessions, but you pay more money. In other words, most semesters at your traditional non-for-profit college or non-profit colleges last 14 weeks. Most of the courses at Phoenix and DeVry are accelerated, so you are going to pay a lot of money. Particularly if you're on the graduate level, you're going to pay between $700 and $900 a credit. And that could run you a lot of money in the long run to get a degree. Those degrees are very viable. There have been many people who have gotten degrees from those schools. Those are known as for-profit schools, but again, they have to be accredited. So again, let me review what I just said. Accreditation is voluntary. There's 6 regional accrediting agencies, and there looks like 8 national accrediting agencies. You can look all these up. The U.S. Department of Education site, that's where I got it. Wikipedia. I tell people, Wikipedia, don't take everything for what it's worth, but you can get an overview of the information. But look under the U.S. Department of Education. You must study this information because it's going to help you. It's going to help you when you send your children. It's going to help you when you're in the military and you want to go to college. What are you going to choose? Do you want a vocation or do you want a career when it comes to college? That's your choice. I'm going to keep it right down the middle. Because I want to tell you something. If you're in the military, some of your courses that you take, particularly in the Air Force, the Air Force also has a community college called the Community College of the Air Force, known as the CCAF, which is down in Guthrie, Alabama. Well, some of the Air Force courses can transfer into a associate's degree, like your career development courses known as CDCs. Coursework is very important, but understanding the principles of education and accreditation, you want to get a good education, you want to make sure the institution that you're going to is accredited. Now, this is college accreditation. Do you know the programs are also accredited? I'm going to get into that video tomorrow, because you're going to need not only your college to be accredited, but your program to be accredited. And that's to take some of the licensing examinations like the CPA, and the PE if you're an engineer, and other certifications. And that's important. We're going to get into other certifications as well, because your career depends on having a certification if you want to move into, number one, having business yourself, or moving up in the chain. That's right. So, again, take a look at the U.S. Department of Education site. You'll find all the regional accrediting bodies there, along with the national accrediting bodies. Decide where you want to go to school. But I'm just giving you this pinpoint information that your school should be accredited. Therefore, when you graduate, you don't have to worry about a degree that you worked hard for to be a diploma man. On that note, I'd like to thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. I am your host, Leon Jones, and I really apologize to you all that I stumbled on some words. I'm very tired. I've been working hard. I have a lot of projects going on. I'm still trying to give you the best information. I had a friend of mine that told me I look very tired. I know. I always believe to keep going because I care about people. That's black, white, but I really look out for the black community, because there's so many videos about black men and black women that are negative. I'm trying to give you all some information that you can use. So if you come on to my channel, you get a little relief from that. Come get some education. This is free. I'm doing all the work, looking the information up, trying to help you to get into college or a vocation, because I did do a video earlier on college and a vocation. But at the end of the day, you must have a degree or certificate from an accredited institution. And you are going to find it only here on the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. I have been long-winded in this video. Once again, I thank you for listening to this edition of the 411 Talk Zone Radio Show. I am your host, Leon Jones. Remember, be blessed for what you have. Don't worry about what you don't have. The sun always rises in the east and sets in the west. It's Labor Day weekend. Be safe while you're traveling. Enjoy your barbecues. Don't drink too much, and arrive alive. Be gentle with each other. Love and peace.